Hey, my name's Julian Faust. Welcome to the Profits and Panels podcast. Today I'm joined by Shyam Prabhakar. Shyam, welcome and thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Julian. This is going to be exciting.
Of course, yeah, I'm glad to have you on. And I'd really love to start and talk about how your business began over at Reworked AI. Can you take us through that journey into where you are today?
Yeah, about 4 years ago, or actually, I've always wanted to start something on my own and have, get out of the 9 to 5 job. And I was exploring ideas. As I was exploring ideas, on what I could start, I bought a piece of land in Austin maybe 4 years ago. Right as when I bought it, maybe a month after it got registered in Travis County, I started getting all these mailers, right? Like direct mail to my house. And I'm like, what, who are these guys? Why are they sending me these, mailers? You might have gotten these too if you're a property owner. These are basically of investors looking to flip land, right? So they basically what they do is they buy data and they spray and pray. They send mailers to everybody, people who own properties with the hopes that they're able to purchase the property off market and then sell it for a premium, right? So that's where they're flipping the land. So I am like, why? Okay, that's fine. That's what they do. But like, why send it to me? Because I just bought it and I bought it at market price. So I started calling these guys back up. And one of them explained the whole process to me. And I asked him, like, hey, Fred, who's the guy who called me or sent me the mailer, don't you have a way to target people better? Turns out they don't. So I said, I want to build you an algorithm. Will you be my first customer? He said, no, hang on, buddy. I want to be your business partner. And the rest, as they say, is history. We met up in Miami about 3.5, 4 years ago. We whiteboarded the whole business idea, and fast forward 4 years, we've gone from 0 to 1. We've built a successful company, and we've since diversified into other verticals, roofing, solar, all of these verticals. But fundamentally, what Rework.ai is we help marketers be more efficient with their marketing, right? Rather than spray and pray, we say you can use the power of data and algorithms to target people in a more effective way rather than just spraying and praying.
So one thing that comes to my mind is if I'm a business owner and I spray and pray at the moment and it works for me a little bit, how much more helpful does it come out to be when I actually partner with you guys at Reworked AI? Like what, because I have to pay for your services, right? And then
Hmm.
it costs money to do that on top of already sending out mail. So what's the
Absolutely.
benefit there?
Absolutely. When we built this, we were very clear that our pricing and our value should reflect a X benefit cost saving to the customer, right? So, just give you a simple example. If a customer of ours is spending $1 million in mailing cost a month without using Reworked, so they're spending $1 million, so they're roughly, sending maybe about let's assume 1.5 million mailers a month. Using Reworked for real estate, it's in the pennies, right? We charge per record that we score, so we are a scoring engine. We charge them pennies, and they're saving close to $1. So it's literally 10x, what they spend on us versus what they save.
Got it. Yeah. And when it comes to your side of the business and actually getting these clients to partner with you, what's been your most effective method for doing so?
Yeah, so we've been, funny. We're speaking on a podcast, and so we launched July or August of 2021, and we got a whole bunch of alpha customers. By January, we were kind of slow walking our way into expansion, but it was very slow. One podcast we recorded in December, launched in January. One podcast that launched, our calendars were booked solid for the next 3 weeks, and the podcast had 300 views the first week, out of which we had like 50 bookings, right? So we had a very high conversion ratio. So yeah, so podcasts like these, but also, we go to conferences and building relationships and networking, that kind of stuff.
Hmm. How effective has the networking been for you, or do you find that just mass marketing works the best?
we're all about efficiency and targetedness, right? So the networking has been super helpful. I mean, the thing about the networking is that's where we've gotten our large customers, our enterprise customers, and those take nurturing and those take months, sometimes years to convert. But that's where, you're building relationships and building a network. And even if it doesn't convert, hey, we've made friends and we've built a network of like-minded people in the industry. So it's always a plus win.
And as you're scaling and as you've been growing, especially when your calendar's been packed that 1 week, that couple week period in January, how are you guys maintaining great quality within your business and great services there?
Fantastic question. The short answer is through technology and of course people. We hire the best, we hire really good people. But even before that, the tech that we built and we continue to build, we're very clear from the get-go that it should have very low operational overhead, and there should also be very low customer churn because of the technology. So, we get very few support-related issues. So our support side scales very well because it's fairly self-serve, easy to use product, as well as yeah, there's also the questions that come about like, hey, well, how do I use this? How do I use that? We faced some of that in the beginning, but as we've progressed, we've realized that it is important to focus on just building really good products that is easy to use.
Got it. Yeah. And what has been the biggest challenge within that whole entire period where you went from start to where you are now? Is it somewhere growing the business, or is it even like right now trying to scale even larger? What's been really difficult for you guys?
Yeah, I think the challenges were different in the journey of the last 3 years. At the very beginning, the challenges were because we're giving our price point is in the pennies, right? That's what our customers paying per record to score, which means the way our algorithms work, it depends heavily on data that we augment about the individual that we're trying to score, right? So a customer uploads a file of, let's say, 10,000 records. It has 10,000 names and addresses in it. We go and fetch a lot more information about each of those people in order to run our algorithms on top of that. So there were two main challenges at the beginning, mostly all tech related. One, building those algorithms, of course, using large voluminous amounts of data. Second, building these contracts or searching for these data vendors who can provide us with the data at a very low cost. So those are the two challenges at the beginning, right? It's all tech and contract related. Now, as we scale, we've run into other challenges. Like, so I've also run into hiring challenges in the last 3 years. But the current challenge is, of course, how do we break into new verticals and new industries? How do we rinse, repeat the success we've had in one vertical and take that to the next vertical? So that's what we're currently facing. But I think we're almost over the hill on a couple of those now.
Do you see that as a problem for a lot of other software companies where they're stuck in one specific niche and they have trouble expanding as well? Or do you find that as just a problem within your business?
No, I could see, especially for a lot of these software as a service companies. I mean, if you manage to build a product where the first vertical you've built it for has ample runway, then you just kind of exhausting that runway, right? You probably might not even face this until a long time. Like my previous company, we were selling to utilities, and there are a lot of utilities in the US. And then we said, okay, hang on a second, there are only so many in the US now. The question was expanding to international markets and so on and so forth. So I think maybe to answer your question, growth either into new markets or new verticals is always a challenge. And I would hazard a guess that probably faced by almost, if not all, many software companies.
Got it, yeah. And what kind of metrics within your business are you looking to improve? Do you want to, I mean, of course, everyone wants their revenue to just go up, but do you spend too much time doing certain tasks? Do you want to do outreach more or less? Like, what's that been for you there?
Yeah, I think, so if I had a magic wand, what problem would I solve, right? Is sort of the question that and then what metric would I address? I think acquiring customers at a low cost and easy way would be, the one that comes top of my head. Like, so which is very relevant to what we've been talking about. Like, so I spoke about podcasts and conferences and trade shows. We don't have a salesperson on our team, right? We don't, I mean, like Fred does most of the selling, but it's a lot of it is inbound and referrals and networking, that kind of stuff. But yeah, if there was a pipeline of like companies that were interested in our product just waiting on our door and we just kind of serve them, one after the other, like that'd be a great problem to solve, right? Just like bringing the pipeline.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, because you guys are an AI company, and of course, one part of AI is actually removing repetitive tasks throughout your day. How have you guys used AI, or what repetitive task have you removed from your own process, or what are you looking to remove in the future? Just to make your own day more efficient and to save time for you.
From that perspective, we're doing it all the time, right? Like, so, I mean, anytime we realize in the course of building our software, I mean, so at Reworked, I had I'm responsible for the product and technology side. And oftentimes we are faced with repetitive tasks where, just as an example, actually this is more marketing related. We had a spreadsheet of, I don't know, 500 customers or potential customers we'd want to reach out to and market to in some sort of fashion, right? Either could be an email or whatever. And, I had somebody like go and find their email address or like their mailing address one by one. I'm like, hang on a second. So it's very, this is what we do, right? Like, so, we use technology for, yeah, any of these small little things. So it's easy enough to like just build a crawler that just crawls the site and gets the, details and plugs it in for us. So yeah, so we've done a lot of that. And of course, right at the beginning, a lot of these files that were being processed were sort of hand processed, right? Like this, I'm talking about like right when we started the company. But the whole thing is automated now, right? From when a customer uploads a file to when they receive a scored list, the whole process is automated, and yeah, it's all because of AI and tech.
How are you guys manually doing it beforehand? What's the difference between before and then where you're at now with the automated side of things?
Yeah, so before, we would get that list, we would upload it on our vendor site and it would get augmented. And then we would run the algorithms on our computer locally on our laptop. And then it would generate a list. And then we would email the customer the list. I'm talking about like the very first week of us launching. But since then, of course, you can go to rework.ai and you as a customer uploads a list, or we hit APIs, we get all the data ourselves, we as in like our software does. It runs the algorithm, everything happens in the cloud. It runs so it's all automated using Python and JavaScript and all these programming languages.
And do you use any automation within the marketing processes?
Not, so as much. I mean, of course, I know there's plenty of tools and automation. You can set up drip campaigns and email campaigns and all of that stuff. As I said, we're not that sophisticated yet on the sales and marketing front. So the example that I gave of like we had a spreadsheet and we crawled it. So we're doing like little by little, but we're not. That's I think maybe fast forward a year from now where because if you take a software company of our size and where we are at, we found product market fit on one vertical, and we are now trying to find product market fit in another vertical. We are very early to talk about scalability and automation at this point because we are still trying to identify companies and talk to them and get their feedback. And it's a very white glove service at this point. But yeah, maybe 6 months from now, we'll probably have all of that in place.
Can you explain a little bit more of what you mean by the white glove service?
Yeah. So right from, okay, what kind of company do we even go after, right? To identifying them and to seeking them either in a conference or, just like, emailing them or whatever, to when we get a response of like, yeah, I connect with this problem. I'd love to know more about your solution, where you talk to them, because on the vertical where we're well established, we don't do any of that, right? Like a customer just goes on our site, they use it, it's all self-serve. But on a vertical that we're trying to crack now, it is more hands-on. It is more, hey, yeah, let's talk to you. Okay, what kind of problem do you have? Oh, upload a list, give the result, connect back with them to see how the result went. Is it working for them? And get that feedback loop so that we can build a better product on our side. So it's very hands-on, as we go into other verticals.
Do you think, how do you personally like the hands on approach? Do you enjoy connecting with these people in the industry, or do you find that it's a bit time consuming?
No, no. I mean, while it is time consuming, it is extremely important. It is super important. We do that for the success of our own product, right? Otherwise, if you don't have that feedback loop, and if your product is not getting better day by day, with the feedback of the customer, especially early on, you're just kind of setting up yourself for success. So it is some kind of consuming, but it is also super important.
Got it. And this is my favorite part of the show. I always like seeing where you want your business to go in the future. Last time we spoke, I think you said you wanted to 100x where your business is going to be. In the next 12 to 24 months, do you think that's a manageable goal?
I think so. I think it's very manageable. We're in the midst of partnering with a very large aerial imagery company that basically does, that has drones and, aircrafts that sort of fly over the entire continental United States, taking pictures of roofs and such. And it is, we'll shortly be announcing that. But that's happening, while in parallel, we're also talking with larger enterprise companies that would benefit from our product. So yeah, line of sight to 10x today, but easily doable 100x in the next 24 to 48 months.
That's going to be real exciting, Sham. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. Where can our audience find you online?
Well, I personally am on LinkedIn as Shyam Prabhakar, or you can visit reworks.ai. And if you're a solar company or roofing company where your customer acquisition cost is super high, uh, feel free to check us out. We've built custom algorithms for these specific industries that help increase your marketing efficiency and yeah, get you customers at a much lower customer acquisition cost.
Thank you, Sham.
Hey, thank you, Julian. This was fun, and I wish you all the best for future podcasts. And yeah, I'm here, and let me know how I can help you.
Of course, I appreciate that. Have a good one.
Thanks, Peter.